Good morning. Today is October the 15th, and this is our weekly COVID-19 update briefing. In Bossier Parish, as of today, we've had 3,692 positive cases of the COVID-19. And this past week, that equates to 201 new cases. That's a serious increase in the last couple of weeks. Unfortunately, we also had one more death, which brings our total in the parish to 111. As anticipated, on October the 8th, Governor Edwards issued Proclamation number 134 that the state will remain in Phase 3 of the recovery through November 6th or as extended by any subsequent proclamation or unless terminated sooner. This proclamation confirms that bars can sell alcohol one additional hour but must stop not later than 11 p.m. One significant change in the new proclamation is that alcohol sales will now be permitted at athletic events under several conditions that have to be complied with. For example, a face covering is required of all attendees and spectators. The stadium, sports complex, or arena must be located in a parish that has a percent positivity rate of 5% or less for at least 2 consecutive weeks. Parish must comply with the guidance of the state fire marshal or commissioner of alcohol and tobacco, and the parish governing authority must have met the criteria and opted in to allow on-premise consumption at bars. Patrons purchasing alcoholic beverage must have the criteria, scratch that if you can edit it out. Patrons purchasing an alcoholic beverage are required to return to their ticketed seat for the consumption and shall not be allowed to stand or congregate in any open areas to consume the beverages. Crowd managers at these facilities and signage will be used to instruct the patrons. Sales to patrons not wearing a mask is not permitted. There will be no sales after 11 p.m. And last, these provisions do not supersede any local government restrictions, such as social distancing, sanitation, disinfections, and those sorts of requirements. The recent positive test results with the President, the First Lady, and several key staff members being positive for the COVID-19 indicates this threat is real and no one, absolutely no one, is immune from being a possible victim. We must continue to comply with prevention and mitigation protocols if we are to function safely in Phase 3 and not regress to a lower phase in the recovery. As we know, many individuals are asymptomatic, but they can possess the virus and can infect others, causing illness and even death. Young adults 18 to 29 still are a significant part of the problem. Wearing masks is a major issue of concerns. There have been surges in many states now, and including our own state. It has been directed that every individual in Louisiana age 8 or older shall wear a face covering over the nose and mouth when inside a commercial establishment or any other building or space open to the public, whether indoors or outdoors. And this also includes public or commercial modes of transportation. Center for Disease Control recently announced that young children are more likely to contract and transmit the COVID disease than originally thought. And it has now been recommended by CDC that children 2 years of age and older wear a mask. As we wait for an effective and safe vaccine, what should we do to save lives, improve the economy, and remain in Phase 3? The first thing we recommended is to continue the prevention and mitigation protocols, and I'll review those in just a moment. Next is get a flu shot as soon as possible. The Center for Disease Control and the Governor urge everyone to get this vaccination. That'll help prevent the potential compounding of the problem by having a flu season and the COVID-19 overlapping, compounding the problem for all of us, the so-called twindemic. The governor stated that should there be an increase in the confirmed number of cases related hospitalizations that threatens our ability of the healthcare system to properly respond, it may be necessary to regress to a lower phase of the recovery. Some legislators have expressed their concern of the governor's emergency orders, feeling that they are too restrictive and harmful to business. However, the governor states that his orders are in line with the White House task force guidance and merited by the virus's serious impact upon the state. He emphasized that from the very beginning he's followed that guidance from the task force and from Center for Disease Control. He is also saying that if we were to abandon these efforts in defiance of public health experts and federal guidelines, it would jeopardize the lives of our people and the gains we've made. He cautioned that we not retreat from the progress that we made under his executive orders, and he said to do so would seriously jeopardize the fight against the virus. He has indicated that he will await any bills that may be passed and assess them relative to how we're handling emergency, but his feelings is that you cannot manage emergencies by committee. I have observed our citizens and businesses are doing a better job of complying, and I really thank you for that, but urge you to continue doing so. It's just incredibly important. The mitigation and prevention protocols are unchanged, and they are as follows. Wear a mask. Wash hands at least 20 seconds. Cough into the bend of your elbow. Do not touch your face. Disinfect surfaces which are frequently touched. Social distance at least 6 feet. If you're sick, stay at home. Follow the advice of your medical provider. And as always, avoid crowds. In addition, I'd like to take this opportunity to just remind all of us about two other subjects of importance that we should be concerned about and participate in, and that is the census that's ongoing and the imminent elections on November. First, the national census, as you know, is done every 10 years. And this year, Louisiana's response has been among the worst of the nation's. So we want to urge people to go, get that form completed, and participate. The door-to-door canvassing has been reduced considerably due to the COVID. So why should we be concerned about the census? Well, as previously stated, it affects the congressional seats the state is authorized to have. It affects our food security, community needs, funding for schools, hospitals, and roads, neighborhood improvements, and other things. The deadline for filling in this census form has been extended to the end of this month through October the 31st. So again, I urge everybody who hasn't done so to get one of these census forms and complete it. To get more information on this process, the contact is my2020census.gov. That's my2020census.gov, G-O-V. The second important issue I just want to bring to your attention is the national and local elections on November the 3rd. Early voters can go to the polls starting tomorrow, October the 16th, and this runs through October the 27th. Photo identification is required, and just as it is on regular election day, and October the 30th is the last day to request a mail-in ballot. On the national level, November 13th, we will vote on a president, a state senator, and a congressman. On the local level, there will be a public service commissioner and a city judge for the city of Bossier City. They're important to know also there will be a statewide proposition on the ballot, which in all 64 parishes, which will allow sports betting in any parish where voters approve. So that's a significant one to be aware of. So, mark your calendars and exercise your right to select the persons you believe to be the best in these very important elected positions on November the 3rd. I thank you for your participation in fighting this pandemic. Our next briefing will be Thursday, October the 22nd. This concludes our briefing. Thank you and good day.